Well, it's been a minute, but we're back to go through all the great stories from the exciting world of sports right here. Sports in 16 minutes. Live on our studios, I'm Femi. I'm thrilled to have you join us. Well, it's been a bit of a change. We have sent the foreigner out of the studio and we brought in someone with a great idea to share his thoughts with all the action we've seen so far. Let's make a big welcome to David. Joins us today. David, how are you?
I'm great. An amazing pleasure to be here. Let's get it going.
All right, very good. Well, he's rolled out the red carpet for himself. I'm excited with that. I've also got Opeyemi Imoru. She's also here today. Ope, you know I had to go and scheme. I had to just get Prince out of the studio because I cannot imagine Prince to stay with us today. With all the things he'll just be throwing. I said, no, he has to leave.
It's good to be here again, Femi. I've really missed you guys.
I know you missed me. You missed me.
I'm looking forward to see Prince Will and the likes. It's good to be here once again.
Okay, I made sure that today, just you and I started everybody missing me, and I'm like, okay, that's good. Must you always spoil the conversation?
No. I miss everybody.
That isn't nice service. So Prince will watch this video and say, yes.
At least whenever he's coming back from wherever he went to, so he will bring something.
He's on exile. We sent him on exile. When I put on exile until he begs me, he's not coming back. Well, we've got great stories from the World Cup qualifiers and the precarious situation Nigeria currently finds herself. We'll touch on all the other big football stories, and remember, the leagues are back. We'll go through all of that when we come back from this break. Stay with us. Okay, so let's start by putting out the elephant in the room, and everyone has been reacting to the story of the Super Eagles 1-1 draw with South Africa, which sort of dents the chances of the Nigerian team to qualify. Now, remember, Benin Republic also secured the victory in their last game, which takes them up to 14 points, 3 points ahead of the Super Eagles. South Africa are 6 points ahead of the Super Eagles. Okay, I know there's been quite a lot going around, but what can we say about the situation now? Is there still hope for Nigeria?
It is looking, I think all hope is lost. Assuming we won that game against the Bafana of South Africa, I think the case will have been different, but it is what it is. It's not looking pretty good. We lost. It looks like a draw, but for me, it's a loss. It's a loss because we needed to win that game. We can say whatever we want to say that we went to play in a ground that is not really good. They took us to a stadium that is not that okay. But we find ourselves in this situation, having to not to get the points at the crucial moment. Playing Zambia and not being able to win that particular match. Playing Lesotho and not being able to win that game. And almighty South Africa. Yeah, we can say that we've not really won. They've not beaten us, but at this moment, I think we needed that win. But it is what it is. We are there in that group, and it's looking like we are not going to the World Cup.
I also saw reports coming through from the Federation, and people have been reacting to it about the release put forward by the NFF. Now, it's one thing for social commentators or sports analysts to say one thing. It's another thing for the NFF to release a statement saying certain performances were poor, right? What's your take on all of this and what should be done? Because people are saying, the NFF now should resign. How can you say Dessus was poor? How can you throw Ekong under the bus? It's a team effort. We stand together, we win, or we lose together. What do you make of it?
I think it's not really looking good because you can't release a federation like a body of, like a federation releasing such statement. I think that's very poor. You can't single out someone saying Siri deserves lost. He was just there in the front. He couldn't do anything. Hello, I think the team lost generally. I think it's not up to one person. There was not even a mention of Trust Ekong getting an own goal for the team. We just had one name, and that's not really looking good because there has been a template to this kind of release. I could remember the time of Desire Opera Nozie. She was singled out in that particular one too. I think the current Chan, team, Ngenge, was also singled. That's not looking pretty good. But we know in this climb, nobody will be held responsible for that particular release. And I think the NFF media team need to do better. You don't release such to the world to say.
David, when we look at the table, as you can see, right, South Africa, they're 17, Nigeria, third on the group with 11, just 3 points behind Benin Republic, who are coached by former Super Eagles manager Donnarumma. Where do we go from here? Because it's easy for everyone to sit down now and complain about the table or the World Cup. It'll probably be back-to-back World Cups Nigeria will not go to at this stage. Where do we go to from here? Because yes, the problem exists. What do we do? Do we continue to sit down and wallow and cry in the problem, or do we pick ourselves and say, okay, we want to start looking at the AFCON, we want to start looking at subsequent World Cups. How do we put our football house in order at this moment?
The first step would be essentially to accept reality. Okay, in my opinion, the World Cup is gone. We needed to win that South Africa game to have a fighting chance. If not to maybe be able to still finish first place, to be able to make the best place second team, to make the playoffs. With that draw, I don't like their chances. So going forward now, we need to use the remaining games to assemble a group, a team. I think the team isn't really bad. They showed flashes of potential in that game, especially in the second half. So if we can put all of that together, take the positives and look forward to the AFCON, because that's a major tournament coming up. We have to give a good showing, especially after all of these bad performances in the qualifying stages.
What do you make of some of the players who stood out in these games, the likes of Benjamin Fredericks, who got his debut in Rio and then got a second game against South Africa? Which players do we keep? Which players do we say, you know what, we need to start looking for replacement for these options? You already preferred starting to rebuild. So how do we go about this?
It's looking at the positives, the players who seem to want it more, who seem to turn up at the big occasions. I mean, there's potential everywhere, but there's also time for reflection in terms of what is not working. If you look into that midfield, especially in that game, I did not see a proper holding midfielder, someone who could carry the ball. It was very destabilized between the transition from the defense to the attack. We need to work on that. We need to find replacements. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Iwobi, but I feel if with good recruitment, we can get a better midfielder or better players who complement each other. Not necessarily, especially with that midfield.
I'm always surprised when people say this, and I'm probably going to throw in my own personal opinion. I think that Iwobi has been the most consistent player.
Really?
Yeah, in the national team. But that's where I stand. And obviously, it's not because it's on the Prince's side. I already disagree. But I think that Iwobi has been very consistent. He's been deployed in a position that he's not naturally good at. Exactly. Right? Remember, for Fulham, he plays a bit more advanced. And hey, we saw him against Manchester United. Right? And that performance was the man of the match performance he put forward. So I do think that national team football and club football are two different things. Exactly. The personnel in Fulham and the personnel in the Super Eagles are different set of players. But I think that, one, we don't have a holding midfielder. I agree with you. I think that Ndidi, as good as Ndidi is, he's past his prime. And we now start to think about, okay, if we get somebody else to partner, it will be in midfield. That person can release Iwobi to go forward and look for something. And we've got loads of options. But I think because certain players are leaders in coach of the team, the manager has not found a comfortable way to release them from the starting bets. A good example is Troostekong, right? The game against Rwanda, when the story came out, and we're all like, you dropped Ekong. Why? I know. But look, the manager was right to drop Ekong. Because when he did play Ekong, we all saw what happened. Now, I'm not going to sit here and abuse Ekong. He's the best player at the last AFCON. Yeah. He's someone who's given it his all for the national team. But it's obvious that Ekong does not start as many, or should not start as many games as he's currently. Because a very good example, the game against Zimbabwe was also Ekong's mistake that led to that goal we conceded. So the mistake has existed. We have just turned a blind eye because we love Ekong. We don't want to see anything bad about Ekong. But it will be, no. Tell everyone at the slaughter floor. That's all bring him forward. Because I also think that with the system that we deployed and the rules given to Dessers, he was never going to excel in that game. Exactly. It was never going to, because it works for Osimhen. Doesn't mean he's more like a poacher. Stays in the box, waits for everything to come in. But you're not giving him any of those balls in the box. No service. There was nobody close to him, and that's my opinion, right? It's my opinion, and I understand. And I think that from here on, what we can think of doing is understanding that when you want to build, you build with faith. We're giving Shell the job. let him take Nigeria to the AFCON. I judge him at AFCON. I'm not judging him with this World Cup qualifier. It was a precarious place. Now, I gave someone a very simple analysis, right? The previous managers before him played 4 games, right? That's Passero and Finidi. He's played 4 games. The number tally differs. In 4 games, he has 8 points. In 4 games, they had 3 points. But yet, we want to throw him under the bus. I'm asking, he did better than those guys. And those guys, remember, no one is talking about them because...
But Finidi was not... The case with Finidi was a different one. I wouldn't judge Finidi.
I'm judging him.
I would not.
I'm going to judge him.
He didn't have the best of player.
No, but he dropped some of those players.
It was a summertime. Everybody claimed
to
be in holiday. Everybody claimed to be.
It's the fault of the manager if you cannot get our best hands.
It's the fault of the NFF.
It's not the fault of the NFF. NFF, Bo.
Femi, don't let us go into that.
Let's go into it.
No, let's continue with
it. Was not easy. Look, I'm blaming Passero. Passero had 2 points, right? But I said, why I blame NFF is leave Passero to finish the phase of qualifying.
Exactly.
You went to bring Finidi. No, you went to bring Finidi. Finidi had friendly games. Remember, we played friendlies before the 2 games. Nobody has lost to Benin Republic. Finidi just lost to Benin Republic. That was the only loss we had. We've not lost a game. Apart from that game, we've not lost any other match. That's the only manager who lost. Drawing with South Africa is, I understand. It's fine. It's okay. 1 point. Okay, let's take our 1 point. But you went to Benin and lost.
So, like
losing in Benin, for me, was an aberration. Because
can we also look at the players too?
Look, the players get the blame.
Because there have been 3 coaches now.
But how do you blame the players when the person who picked the players themselves made the decision? I don't blame, and maybe I'm a bit too harsh, right? But I don't blame the players. Because it's about management. The whole idea of you being a manager is you pick the players and you live and die by the results. If Passero had won the AFCON, no one would say, oh, the players did everything on the field of play. Everybody would give it to Passero. Madugu got all the credit. Right? Everybody says, oh, but it was Madugu's tactical acumen. He changed the game second 45 minutes. I've had a few players say, well, we realized that we had to start playing our game, in quotes. But everybody gives the credit to Madugu. So if you're going to live by the sword, you're going to die by it when it comes back for you. So if Madugu takes credit, if Passero takes credit, why are we now saying the players? You pick the players. You make your decision. Passero picked those players. Finidi picked the players he picked. Shell, remember, picked Fredericks. He's collecting the credit now for Fredericks' performance. So my point is, if things are going to go wrong, which the AFCON will be my judging point, then I hold him responsible.
Who?
Shell, if we fail at AFCON.
Okay.
Because remember, this team got to a final.
Yeah, holding him responsible.
This team got to the final of the AFCON.
Yeah.
This team has grown. I don't want to say it has aged. It has grown. Right? Osimhen is currently at his peak. Ademola Lookman is at his peak, going there probably as the African Footballer of the Year, right? Yeah. We've got loads of players. It will be, we can mention Fredericks, Bassi. How can a team that has gotten to the AFCON final not outperform their previous run? And when I mean outperform, not necessarily win it. But you must put in a performance that even will be like, we'll not try.
Yeah.
We'll not try. For me, that's the minimum. You have to either get to...
But do you think, Femi, that... this current crop of players would do better with Eric Charles' philosophy, ideology in the game, his formation and all of that. Do you think we are going to go past the likes of Morocco?
I do think so. I think that what we've got, and I agree with David here when he mentions the players, that a lot of players have got egos. I agree. But the whole idea of him, and the reason I'm still running back to that manager is you cannot be enjoying something when it is good. And when it is bad, you quickly say, is this one's? See, then is this one's? You are the manager. If a player is not going to give you his top performance, bring somebody to do it. Where you found Fredericks, I don't know. But you brought Fredericks, and Fredericks did the job. If you bring Dessers has to do the job. I thought Dessers wasn't the ideal substitution in the game against Rwanda, but I saw that game live, right? And one of the things I thought was, you already had a South African team that Osimhen's movement off the ball was the only reason why he should stay on that pitch, right? Yes, I know people say Osimhen 3 goals in 2 games, but if you have a target man, all I have to do as a defender is close my eyes and stretch my hand and I'll find him. But if you had played a mobile forward like a false 9, it's hard to pick him up because you don't know where he is, right? You don't know. And you had 2 games. South Africa put out tall defenders, Rwanda put up tall because they already know how we're going to play. And you just played into their hands and still played the same thing. Why not confuse them? Now, I'm saying it now because it did not work well. If it had worked well, obviously, I won't say all of this. Right. That's what I'm just saying. That look, If you're going to win, take the credit. If you're going to lose, take the credit as well.
So I want to ask again, Femi.
Go ahead.
Do you feel the formation, it's something Eric Chell should continue with?
Yeah. I just think the players need to
The
understand.
4-4-2
Yes.
diamond.
I think the players need to understand the system.
Okay.
Because this system works. It will be works for Manchester United against Manchester United. We saw that, and when we saw the game, comes to the left, cuts in, and then he did a lot of that in the game like in Rio.
But do you think again, I want to ask, if you look at that Rwanda game, you will see that the wingers are not really
They act as
into the game.
they act as. So I think that's their life.
In Nigeria kind of setting, we use more of wingers. We use more of wing play. But that doesn't really shows in that formation.
Yeah.
So you think that is something we should continue with?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should continue that. If we continue to practice something, practice makes perfect.
We will get
Right?
better.
He has not lost a game. Oh. Let's remember that Shell has not lost a competitive game.
Okay.
So if he has not lost a game, it means he's doing something right. The only problem is we're not scoring enough goals. Right? The most we've scored, even with Osimhen, is 2 goals. The most, and that's the game against Rwanda. Every other game has been won. With Osimhen was won against Zimbabwe. With Osimhen, we were not even with a goal against Rwanda before he was substituted. So we're struggling for goals. So it means that, do I mind? No. If we're good defensively, we just need to lock it at the back. It means that we will not concede. Pacero did that I will not concede. I will look for that one goal. And if we get to penalties, I believe the confidence of my players. Here, if I know we got to. But you know what? Let's leave it at that. We'll see what happens. Nigeria's hopes would lie on the final 2 matches of the World Cup qualifiers. One of those games would be against Lesotho in South Africa. The second will be against Benin Republic in Rio. We'll bring you all the action and the details coming through from those games. And we can only say we wish the Super Eagles the best of luck. Fingers crossed. I'm still optimistic that second place will be there for grabs. Right?
Keep hoping.
Now, wow. I don't know which people I bring come here today. I brought out in Thomasina. But guys, before we leave the football scene, let's just quickly review some of the things that's going on. David, let's start with you. Crisanto Zucchi was part of the Super Eagles squad, came on against South Africa. The end of the transfer window moved to Crystal Palace from Getafe. What do you foresee for him in the future?
I think it was a good move. He had a decent season last season with Getafe. And it's a beautiful thing to see Nigerians competing at the highest level. I think the goal for him would be becoming a starter and ensuring that he's a prominent figure within that lineup, and then ensuring that he meets his target in terms of goals, assists, and impact in the team.
How about Chukwueze? He's moved over to Fulham from AC Milan. What do you think about that?
I feel like that's a downgrade.
Oof.
I feel like that's a downgrade. AC Milan to Fulham.
Yeah.
Fulham are not doing bad.
But it's the league. He's moving from the...
And
He's moving from the Serie A to the Premier League.
in AC Milan, he wasn't necessarily the most consistent. He wasn't really
Christian
consistent.
Pulisic was starting in that position, so it's going to guarantee.
It's a chance for him to rediscover himself and to show what he's made of. I feel like he has so much potential. Right from the under-17 levels, he's shown so much talent. But the thing about him is consistency.
I agree with you. And one story I mentioned to you, and for those who are watching as well, is Edwin van der Sar. He liked Juventus. He says the minute they signed Buffon from Parma, he knew his time was done. He moved to Fulham, which in your English would have been a step down. But from Fulham, where did he go to? Manchester United. So maybe this could be a window for him. Let's
Maybe.
Tolu Arokudare from Genk to Wolves.
I think that's one of the epic signing for me. Seeing Tolu moving from Genk to Wolves. He has been prolific in the Belgian league, and sometimes I think to people like us, the Premier League is a leveler, like a big deal. So I think Tolu will do good. He have shown prospects in Genk. He won the league there. He's done so many good
Scored
things.
quite a lot of goals too.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's a good signing for Wolves, and I think he's going to take them to greater heights.
All right, let's jump over and go to some of the deadline day transactions we saw. Victor Boniface also moved from Bayer Leverkusen
to Wolves.
To
Werder Bremen.
Wolfsburg is Christian Eriksen.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that. Good move, bad move? You're the one. You're the David meter. So let's
actually, it was good that he was able to still get a move, especially after the medical incident. I want to see how he reacts to all of that drama in terms of showing his quality and regaining his form. That's the key thing for me.
All right, Okpe, finally, Sevilla terminated Kelechi Iheanacho's contract. It's confirmed he's switching over to Celtic. Once that deal goes through, we'll say, well, kudos to him and all, but it just seems as though that the potential Kelechi Iheanacho had from the under-7, I just want to reference
under-17.
We're still waiting for that spark.
I think we are tired of waiting, and at this age, I don't think that spark will ever going to come. Even with the national team, Kelechi has a big downgrade, and sometimes when he is being called to the national team, I wonder why and what soap he's using to bath, as senior man that he is. But good enough that Celtic are poaching him. Good enough that at least club are still looking out for him, because Kelechi downgrade is not something.
From Manchester City to Leicester to Sevilla. It
was just
Sevilla
downgrade of him. But good enough, Celtic are poaching, and we hope to see the Kelechi we have been expecting.
All right, let's switch over now to some of the other deals we saw completed from the European markets. Talking about some of those big names. Alexander-Isak was one name everyone talked about, David. Finally got his move. I'm not going to sit here and form moderator on top of is he good or bad. Look, what can this guy offer Liverpool?
Talent. He's a talent. But I feel the issue would come in terms of managing all these new pieces for Liverpool. Isak is a tested and trusted striker. He's proven his quality. Right from Real Sociedad to even Newcastle.
Well, I'm going to mention Dortmund.
We all know what he can do. You don't believe in him?
I think that Dortmund, you can't sit down and just talk about Sociedad and not mention Dortmund. Yes. I'm agree with you that he's currently at the finished product. Well, but when you were going, we all knew what he was coming from. I'm like, I remember her for Dortmund. No being like, I don't remember.
Those things are passed away. Recent. Not so long.
Newcastle. If you want to go further, then they were heading to.
It took us way back.
That's all good.
Anyhow, Isak is a tested striker. We've seen what he can do in recent times. I think Liverpool would be looking forward to him championing that front line and leading them to glory, especially in places where Darwin Núñez failed last season.
What would you do? Would you stop Hugo Ekitike, who's already started the Premier League like a house on fire? Would you drop him, or would you rearrange the formation? Because remember, you still got Mohamed Salah. Salah is undroppable at the moment.
The squad depth is unreal.
It's unreal, but who goes to the bench? Do you stop the guy who's already performing?
You can't spend...
Or do you stop the guy who you claim is currently at the top of his ability?
You can't spend over 100 million on a player and put him on the bench, obviously.
Well, I think Liverpool.
I don't think he'll be on the bench.
They spent $9 million for Darwin Núñez, you just mentioned.
I'm the opinion that they didn't necessarily need the two. Because
but they do need the two, because remember, they lost Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, and the passing of Diego Jota. That's 3 forwards off, right? And they bought only one. So they needed to get a second one in, which was where Isak came. I think that they were hoping that they were going to get, and this is me just thinking, they were going to get Isak first. And when they got knocked back by Newcastle, they went for the other option. Yeah. And then when they now realized they could sign, we're like, should we pass it? No, let's not pass it. Let's still take it. But I do think they can play 3 of them in front. That's what I think. 3 of them will play in front.
The question would be, how productive would that be?
Well, we've seen Isak play a lot from the left. Hugo also can play from the left, but I think Isak does a better job from the left, cutting in from the left, and he's quick, right? So it would be Hugo playing as a false 9, being a lot deeper, Isak playing from the left, and Salah from the right. So, and then obviously there'll be rotation, like you mentioned, loads of games, Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Premier League. No, and they've got good support behind them. I think it's good. So that said, okay, let's go to Manchester City. Their whole problem there, nobody seems to understand. I don't know if
they've reached their peak.
They have?
They've reached their peak.
So what next for them?
A new era.
Oof. Donnarumma, is that a new era? Okay.
For me, I think it's just a necessity. They needed a goalkeeper, but I don't think it's the new era, because there's a whole lot going on with Manchester City that even we are trying to figure out. I don't think Pep himself got that has gotten that figured out. We talked about the Manchester City that have won laurels, and we felt, okay, these guys, they've seen it all. There is no hunger for more and all of that. But we are seeing new faces.
Yeah, the new faces.
There are new faces, but it seems like the problem is still there.
So is it a pet problem?
I wouldn't say
I know everybody's afraid to say this because
I wouldn't say it's
Pep has
pet
won
problem.
6 Premier League titles.
He's proven himself.
4 in a row. Nobody can ever say someone because even now the results are bad. There's not ball anybody where to pinch him. Everybody just keeping quiet.
Just watch from afar.
But you have to think about it. He's bought new players. Donnarumma obviously is that sort of goalkeeper we saw last season. Shot stopping, he's right there. You brought in new players, defenders. You brought in new midfielders. Practically a complete new midfield. You let Gundogan go. You've let Kevin De Bruyne go. You brought in new faces. You brought in a new attack. So I don't get it. What's the delay? Why is Pep the problem? That contract Pep side doesn't need another sabbatical.
I don't think it's the problem. Sometimes maybe the team is just trying to figure out how to go with this new set of people. When Pep came in, that it started getting the results at the goal. The guys started knowing each other. They know who to play around with. When what is his name now? Kevin De Bruyne is injured. There's a problem. They play around him. Is either they're playing around him or now we don't even know who they are playing around. We don't know if it's the centre forward, Erling Haaland.
Well, that's a constant in this.
We don't know who to pick. Everybody is just. I think Pep is just trying to figure out. Okay, who is my ball philosophy around this time around? So I think Pep, his tank is not full enough again.
He needs a sabbatical. I think he needs a sabbatical.
I wouldn't really say that because he too, as a manager, he has won it or he has seen it all. So the hunger is not there again.
I understand. How do you refuel yourself? And that's why I think.
I don't necessarily think we can question his pedigree.
Guardiola
is Guardiola.
Nobody's doing
that. But
in
my perspective, Guardiola has become too familiar with the problem.
What do you mean?
The team he built.
Speak English.
The team he built reached certain heights. Yeah. Champions League glory, Premier League glory. And now that team, key components are leaving.
Getting old and leaving.
And they're getting old.
Because Bernardo Silva is still in that team. Ruben Diaz is in that team.
Well, in that case, now the question is desire, motivation to do it again.
Yeah,
and then
exactly what
that's a question of man management on his part. And then he now has to find key replacements that can still fit into that style of play and achieve that level of glory.
What
it's like
replacements?
No, like in terms of he never got a right back. He never got a right back because since Kyle Walker left, there hasn't been a replacement at right back.
Even
De Bruyne.
That was a major.
This guy that came from AC Milan.
Tidane Riders?
Yes.
Now what for you? Okay, now what for you? I started speaking pidgin. Now what for you? You can compare night and day.
I'm not comparing, but that was his replacement now.
Move. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's take a couple of more stories. David, Trent has not found his mojo yet at Real Madrid. He's moved from Liverpool. Everyone thought he was going to bring something different. If you were the manager, would you start Carvajal or would you keep trying Trent to make sure you get the best?
I think Xabi Alonso is still trying to find the balance for Real Madrid. A key question of Real Madrid, especially last season, was balance. At times in the team, they looked to be one-sided in terms of dimension, in terms of ability. And then in terms of Trent, what Trent offers you mostly is going forward. So in terms of that balance at that back, you also need to be aware of, okay, what partnerships can I put in place to cover all potential lapses that Trent might create? But also from the games I've watched this season, I think it's a new country, a new language, a new terrain. Trent is still going to grow into the league, grow into the team. The first game I saw him, he played like a new boy in a new school, not necessarily used to the Real Madrid way. I think the best is yet to come from him. But he also has to be ready for the fact that Xabi Alonso doesn't look like he has any favorites.
Yeah.
He really doesn't have any.
Look like he has the time to wait for you to get to where.
So he's always going to try the next player, the next thing that looks.
Ask Junior, ask Rodrigo.
Rodrigo is not seeing game time anymore. Yeah. So it's up to him being patient and then taking his chances when it comes.
All right, let's go over. Let's stay with you, David. João Pedro seems as though he's just hit the ground running. Good and great.
Sensational, especially if we look at the Club World Cup, what he did. He looked to be an instant impact signing. I think Chelsea would benefit from him, especially going forward. Nothing bad can be said as of now because of what he has been doing and he's been delivering the goods.
Yeah, he has been.
I think he's a good steal from Brighton.
Yeah, he is. Looks like a very good steal. Would you say the same thing about Victor Gyökeres? Since he moved to Arsenal, he's scored a couple of goals. I'm not going to sound like the hater that I am, but I will say against Leeds, against Liverpool, he wasn't there. He got a yellow card.
Femi, this is the Premier League. You don't just come.
It's early days, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For the fact that he even got a goal against Leeds, Abba now.
Where the former today? I don't know. Where the former today? Where the former today?
Let me cut him some slack. I'm still coming from every player that was bought into the Premier League one by one. Okay. But it's just the early days, so I'm still cutting them some slack.
All right, so just going to mention this as well. Luis Diaz moved from Liverpool to Bayern Munich, and already he's hit the ground running. He's won the German Cup. That's the Community Shield in quotes, the German Shield start of the season. He's also gotten first goals already of the new season. So we're to see if you take Bayern Munich to the heights they want or not. That's time for a break. We'll come back. We've got predictions lined up for the weekend. Club football is finally back. Let's see what we've got on the menu when we return. Well, international football games are over. It means club football returns on your screens and so much going through. But except the NPFL never went on the break. Games have been on since the start of the new season. And I'd start with Okwe on this one because, she loves the NPFL and says there's so much to come for it. Some of the games are not on television, but one game to look out for this weekend will be the champions, Remo Stars. They're traveling away this time to take on Plateau United. I remember the game last week, Okwe. They were victorious over Warrior Wolves. It was 1-0. It was pretty slim, but... They're top of the table, 3 games, 7 points. Can they continue momentum?
I think their momentum is high. I watched the first game they played with Rivers United.
I know you watched.
You
went in low without me.
I'm sorry.
I'm offended with that.
I'm sorry.
You left your bestie.
You know I got you.
You left your bestie in Lagos.
I'm sorry.
This kind of thing that you will say. Prince will be smiling.
I'm sorry. But
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, I did. It was a good game. And we saw what they did, even with some of the chunk of the players went for a chance and they got back, even from Rivers United. But with Plateau United, they got a new gaffer, Shola. Shola has not gotten his mojo in Plateau United. And I think it's early days. We should cut Shola some slack. And this is a tough game for him, irrespective that is at home to play the current champion. So I think Remo Stars will not allow this one slide.
Okay.
I think they are going to get at least a point.
A point for you.
Away from home.
A point.
Yeah. At least a point.
For me,
I don't want to just spoil Plateau United like that because they lost last week
the 2 teams
to Rangers.
The 2 teams will score.
Yeah, probably.
2 teams will score.
But he was unable to score against Rangers, although away from home.
Away from home. 2 of them will score.
So I'm looking forward to.
2 of them will score.
To Remo getting a point.
What would you say about Kano Pillars? Like, they've had a tough start to the season. I know it's still early days. Only 1 point from 9, possible 9. And that was the game where they drew at home. They've got Enugu Rangers for company. I remember that Fidelity Lechukwu returns to his side for this weekend. What do you make of this game?
I think it's going to be a tough one, and it's going to be one game to watch out for. But for Rangers, they've not really been prolific, but good enough for them. They won their last match against Plateau United. But I'm looking forward to seeing Kano Pillars do something. But, they are at home. And Rangers going out.
Kano Pillars will lose. Pillars will lose. Sorry, I said Pillars. Rangers will lose, sorry.
Yeah, because Pillars are at home at the Sunny.
The reason I have to say that because it has a team that Praise will support. And yes, that's why.
Is that why you said Rangers?
Yes.
Anyways, I think Enugu Rangers might get a point away from.
All right, let's see how it goes. David, let's start over to you. Arsenal against Nottingham Forest. The Premier League is back, and the Gunners so far are unbeaten in the Premier League. Have they considered any goal this season? No? No, they haven't.
No.
They considered against Liverpool.
Liverpool.
So, yeah.
They lost 1-0.
Well, I I think after that Liverpool game, the key would be rediscovering their mojo, especially with the.
Are you an Arsenal fan?
No.
Okay.
Rediscovering their mojo.
What's the news support?
Real Madrid.
Wonder.
No wonder.
Prideful people.
Prideful people. No, I don't know when he was talking about the Trent. He kept going around.
You don't rate Madrid.
No, we all love Madrid. Do we have choice?
This season, no. I don't rate Madrid this season.
No. Watch out. Alonso ball. Watch out. Alonso ball.
With the way you have been playing at the club world already.
Alonso. That's old things. Don't be resistant.
That's recent.
When is it old things? Chelsea will say they're the Club World Cup champions. That's old things. They've not forgotten. But it's alright. Let's go to Arsenal against Nottingham Forest.
I think Arsenal have a good team this season. They will be looking to bounce back, especially mentally, from that defeat against Liverpool.
It's a special goal for Liverpool to beat them, right?
They are well set up. Arteta has grown as a coach.
Forest are where they should be. They have a new manager.
And a new coach now.
And Ola, is injured. Yeah.
I'll still tip Arsenal for this.
Take Arsenal for it. All right, let me stay with you. Can't believe Manchester United are going to play their neighbors, Manchester City. David, it's you that will take this one. But I ask like this now. Well, will carry me like this now to Third Milan Bridge. To carry me on a journey. I'm not ready for this journey. Let me know that me and you are the one riding together.
United, especially after that game, was it against Burnley?
Impressed you this season at all?
Not really. But I don't think they are bad. I think it's going to take time. And they are facing a City team that hasn't necessarily been the best, overwhelmingly this season. That game is up for grabs. And the pressure would be on Manchester United because they need to get their season running. That game against Burnley, it was too shaky. That game could have gone anyway. It could have gone anyway. So I think they would be looking at this game and with the mindset that we need to produce something for this game. But Guardiola, irrespective of the City dilemma that he's facing, Guardiola is always Guardiola. Haaland is Haaland. So it's not going to be the easiest for United. Maybe they would look at this and expect a draw or a snatch and grab type of win because City, even on their worst day, is still City.
But City under Manchester United recent managers have always been bad. Recently, remember this manager beat them last season, this same manager, right? The manager before him, Erik ten Hag, usually finds way to get results. Same as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Whenever it's Manchester City, there's just something about United.
Because of the Manchester derby.
That's one. I also think that whenever they're playing teams in that top top bracket, because Man United's best game this season was Arsenal, right? We all agree it was Arsenal. And then the next game, it was like I said, they just dropped from the mountain, boom, against Fulham. And then the game against Burnley, we were like, this is the same team that the manager said it's coming. I think it's going to be a game filled with a lot of goals. I'm giving it to City close, maybe 3-2. 3-2. I think they both City can't stop conceding goals, and Spurs already showed us how City will. United's problem is that the manager still haven't found the right selection
to execute.
Right, to execute. So Bremer's got right back. Cunha, if he's fit again, he's got right back. But then who plays? Do you start Šeško? Because if Cunha is not 100%, that means Šeško starts. Now, does it mean that he pushes Bruno a bit forward? Because Bruno playing in that favorite Bruno position brings a different Bruno. But you know what? There's all to play for this weekend. That's how it'll be on the Premier League. Okay, let's turn over to the Serie A. We finally got our first big game. It's Juventus up against Inter Milan. These two teams are now pretenders because last year, Inter were title favourites but fell to Napoli. But this time around, they're trying to return to that summit. Juventus is also on that course. What do you think? I
think it will come with a lot of goals. I'm looking forward to seeing both teams to bring out the spark. Juventus have not really been where they used to be. Inter Milan trying to, do a catch-up. So I'm looking forward to a draw. All right, let's leave it at that. Final game for us before we go right here, Sports in 60 minutes. I don't know how our producer went to put Real Sociedad against Real Madrid. Right? I'm just going to sit down. Are you not surprised? You still find Barcelona. I'm surprised that so this season we've left Barcelona from last season. Now you're going to Real Madrid. I'm just going to say this, that both of these teams have done recruitment. David already mentioned some of the inclusions. That's not forgetting the fullbacks, both fullbacks. Alvaro on one side and then Trent on the other side. And Alexander-Arnold. And
Real Sociedad also did a few signings of their own to replace some of the departed players, including Zubimendi, who moved over to Arsenal. But I think that start of the season, it's still early days. I've seen Sociedad drop points, I've seen them pick points, so they've got loads of quality. I'm just going to leave David to predict. David, prediction now. Prediction. Resist the urge. Tell me what Xabi Alonso wants to do. Resist it. Because if you start going to tell that, oh, Kylian Mbappe is looking so good.
He is actually.
I see how he is. I love other goalers. The goalers getting his chance.
Look at him. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Usually, let me just give a little preamble. Usually, Real Madrid struggle against mid-table teams when they go away. Whether it's Athletic Bilbao, whether it's Sociedad, whether it's Valencia, there are certain teams they always struggle when they play away. I feel like this will not necessarily be a straightforward game for Real Madrid. Maybe we're looking at 2-1 in favor of Real Madrid.
Wow, got there finally. Hallelujah.
Amen.
All right, so the weekend is already on our hands. And well, guys, today's Saturday. I'm sure you all have plans already going through. But before the weekend finishes, any good thing? It's a new season. We need to go back to the way we used to go to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to cover the Kurudu City game.
Oh, is this weekend?
Yeah,
Sunday.
this weekend.
Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Looking forward to
Should be.
Kurudu versus
I tried to come in.
United.
Where? Who?
Beru.
Barao.
They just got...
Barao United, yeah. Okay, yeah. I should be there. I'll go there.
I'm looking forward to cover
That's
that
Sunday.
game.
Yeah. I should, yeah. David, any fun thing for you this weekend?
I think the major thing would be football is back. Club football is back. Champions League is coming in after this. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It's a new season. I've said I'm going to always be doing the mature thing. I'll say what I'm going to do this weekend. What's I to do this weekend? I don't know.
Confused.
But I know that whatever I'm going to do has started already. And then tomorrow I'll probably watch a Kurudu City game. Yeah. Probably watch a Kurudu City game. And then I'll see how it goes from then on. Whatever Sunday has got to offer. I'm looking forward to doing some cooler things. Maybe a few more watch along places.
Okay.
I'll try to do a lot more of that this season. Go to venues, watch along. And then just get the ambience, just to see what people are feeling like. Yeah. That's my philosophy for this new season. That's what I want to do. I want to put myself out to the people and get across to the people. You can also be a part of us. We'd love to hear from you as well. We have thoughts about everything we've discussed on our social media handles. Remember, I must say big thanks to David making his debut, and he's been absolutely fabulous. And Opeyemi Imoru as well. Always great to have her in. She's been good as well. Lost my bribed her before she came here, so she won't go against me. Not forgetting my humble self as well, I'm Femi. Big thanks to everyone who's joined us. Remember, Sports in 60 Minutes come to a close. Action has been live from the Arab studios. We'll catch you next time with more. Till then, do stay safe. Bye, everyone.